My grandfather was born in 1904 in the northern German town called Wismar. It's close to the Baltic Sea. It's in a state called Mecklenburg. And he left there in 1925 and emigrated to a country now known as Namibia, which is where he spent his life. And he passed away in 1991. But that's not the story I wanted to tell today. I want to tell a story about the time before he left, because he spent a lot of time as a young man growing up on his mother's family's farm. And it was a kind of farm you don't really see these days. It was fairly large. It was actually a large estate with cows, with fields, with a corn mill, with trout farms, and beautiful old building right outside the town of Wismar. And he loved spending time there. And one day the family, as was wont that day, they invited a painter from Denmark to come to paint some beautiful bucolic scenes of this farm life. And the painter came, and he brought along his daughter. Now my grandfather is a young, very good-looking man, and this daughter, they fell in love. And my grandfather's cousin, who was also there, he was out of luck. And I know this so clearly because they are depicted in a painting that my parents now have in the form of 3 turtle doves. There's a gray one and a white one, and they're kind of kissing. That's my grandfather and the daughter. And there's a 3rd gray one looking away. So that's the first part of the story. The second part is 60 years after my grandfather had left Germany, he had stayed in contact with this woman. And they both had started their own lives. They'd had families, they'd had tragedies, and had everything that life gives you. And in the decade before he passed away, he would come to Europe a lot and spend time with my parents and my family. And he was also there right before my younger brother was about to be born. And my mother got so fed up with having this old man in the house while she was pregnant. She sent him, said, Obas, we call him Obas, go somewhere. So he booked a train trip to Denmark to see this woman. And so he took the train up to the north, and she was waiting there for him with her own grandson. And as she stood there on the platform, looking at the people get off the train, she would stop every young, good-looking man saying, "Are you Franz? Are you Franz? Is it you?" And finally, her grandson had to say, "Grandma, he's old like you. He has white hair now." What happened afterwards, I don't really know. But I do know that love can make you blind, no matter how old you are. Thank you.